The emergency klaxons had been silent for 3,000 years. Now they screamed through the crystalline halls of the Galactic Council chambers, their piercing wail sending hundreds of species into panic. Ambassador Veltar of the Centauri Collective clutched his breathing apparatus tighter, his translucent skin flickering between colors of fear and confusion. Around him, representatives from across the galaxy huddled together, their various forms of communication creating a cacophony of terror. "Two signals," announced the Council's AI, its voice cutting through the chaos with mechanical precision. "Two separate Deathworld species. Both have achieved faster than light travel. Both are approaching our space." The word Deathworld struck the assembly like a physical blow. For millennia, the galaxy had been ruled by civilized species, beings, who had evolved on gentle worlds where the greatest threat was deciding which fruit to harvest for breakfast. These species had built their societies on cooperation, philosophy, and the firm belief that violence was the mark of primitive minds. Deathworlds were different. They were planets where existence itself was warfare. Worlds where the atmosphere tried to dissolve your lungs, where the ground shifted without warning, where every creature was designed by evolution to kill everything else. The few Deathworld species the galaxy had encountered were either extinct or trapped on their hostile planets, too busy surviving to develop SPAC-EFL, IGHT. Until now. "Impossible," whispered Council Elder Scifistories, his three hearts beating in panic. "Rhythm. Deathworld species cannot cooperate long enough to build civilization. They're too busy killing each other to develop technology." But the scanner data didn't lie. Two distinct signatures, both originating from Class 12 Deathworlds. Planets so hostile that the Galactic Survey Corps had classified them as unsurvivable for intelligent life. Yet here they were, not just surviving, but thriving enough to reach the stars. The Council Chamber's protective barriers hummed to life for the first time in recorded history. These weren't ceremonial shields designed to keep out noise and weather. These were military-grade deflectors capable of withstanding planetary bombardment. The galaxy's most peaceful institution was preparing for war. "What do we know about their capabilities?" demanded General Corax, the only military officer present. His species, the Valdorians, were considered warriors by galactic standards, though they hadn't fought an actual war in over 2 millennia. Insufficient data, the AI responded. However, based on Deathworld parameters, we must assume they possess technology designed for extreme survival scenarios. Their weapons would be built to destroy threats capable of leveling cities. Their armor would be designed to withstand conditions that would instantly kill most galactic life. Ambassador Veltar's skin had gone completely pale. "If they're anything like the theoretical models, they won't negotiate. They won't understand diplomacy. They'll see our peaceful civilizations as weakness and exploit it." The Elder nodded gravely. "Two Deathworld species meeting in our space. The violence will be beyond imagination. When they finish destroying each other, the survivor will turn their attention to us." Emergency protocols activated across the galaxy. Military fleets that hadn't seen combat in centuries began moving toward defensive positions. Diplomatic corps evacuated to bunkers designed to survive the heat death of stars. On 1,000 worlds, peaceful species looked to the stars and wondered if their age of harmony was about to end. But in their terror, they made a fundamental error. They assumed that surviving hell made you hellish. They believed that strength could only come from cruelty, and that beings who knew violence couldn't choose peace. They were about to learn otherwise. The first ship materialized at the edge of Council space with a burst of exotic radiation that made every sensor array scream. Warnings. It was massive, its hull scarred and pitted from what could only be constant warfare. Dark metal twisted into angles that suggested function over form, weapon systems that could reduce moons to dust, and armor plating thick enough to survive direct stellar impact. This was humanity's first gift to the galaxy. Terror, the ship broadcast on standard diplomatic frequencies, its message clear and measured. This is Captain Sarah Chun of the United Earth vessel Endurance. We come in peace, seeking dialogue with the Galactic Council. We bring greetings from humanity and an offer of friendship. The council chamber fell silent. Friendship? From a Deathworld species whose planet was a hellscape of constant destruction? The AI began reciting Earth's classification data, and with each fact, the assembly grew more horrified. Earth experienced weather systems that regularly produced winds capable of flattening cities. Its tectonic plates shifted without warning, reshaping entire continents overnight. The planet's gravity was 3 times stronger than most inhabited worlds, crushing anything not adapted to its pull. Its atmosphere contained gases that would burn through most species' respiratory systems in seconds. The life forms, the AI continued, are predominantly predatory. The dominant species, humans, evolved from persistence hunters who literally chased their prey to death over distances that would kill most galactic species from exhaustion alone. Ambassador Veltar's skin had shifted to deep purple, the color of absolute terror. They're persistence predators. They don't stop. They don't give up. They just keep coming until their target dies. But the human ship waited patiently at the system's edge, making no aggressive moves. It had powered down its weapons and was broadcasting cultural transmissions, music, art, mathematical proofs, philosophical treatises. The content was sophisticated, complex, beautiful even. How is this possible? Whispered Elder Zephistos. They should be nothing but savage killers. Their world should have prevented any development beyond basic survival. The human captain's voice came through again, calm and professional. We understand your concerns about Deathworld species. We've studied your galactic history and appreciate the peace you've built. We don't wish to disturb that peace. We simply want to join it. Join it? Deathworlders who wanted to join galactic civilization rather than conquer it. General Korax accessed the ship's design specifications that had been transmitted as a gesture of good faith. The technology was beyond anything the galaxy had seen, but it wasn't designed for conquest. It was designed for survival in impossible conditions. The weapons weren't for aggression. They were for defending against threats that could crack planets. The armor wasn't for intimidation. It was for enduring environments that would instantly vaporize conventional materials. They're not warriors, he realized aloud. They're survivors. Everything about them is built around the concept of enduring rather than destroying. The Council remained frozen in disbelief. A species that had evolved on a world where every day was a fight for survival, yet they approached with diplomacy and cultural exchange. They offered gifts instead of demands, friendship instead of conquest. Then the second signal appeared. This arrival was different. No burst of radiation, no dramatic materialization. The Cathara ship simply existed where empty space had been moments before, as if reality had quietly rearranged itself around its presence. The vessel defied description. Its surface rippled like liquid mercury while maintaining solid form, shifting between dimensions that hurt to observe directly. The Council's sensors struggled to process what they were detecting. The ship wasn't built, it was grown. Bioorganic technology that pulsed with its own heartbeat, breathing in the vacuum of space as if it were atmosphere. This wasn't just alien. This was impossible made manifest. This is Resonance Singer Vorthak of the Cathara Collective. Came the transmission, not through electromagnetic waves, but through harmonic vibrations that somehow bypassed their communication systems entirely. The voice seemed to emanate from within their own minds. We greet our fellow survivors of the Void's cruelty. The IS analysis of the Cathara homeworld made Earth seem like a vacation resort. Vorthek existed in a state of constant dimensional flux, where gravity fields shifted randomly from crushing weight to weightless void within minutes. The planet's surface regularly folded inside out, turning mountains into valleys and oceans into sky. Time itself moved unpredictably, creating loops where cause followed effect and yesterday could happen after tomorrow. The native life forms were entities of pure malevolence, creatures that existed partially outside normal space-time, hunting through dimensions to devour anything that achieved consciousness. They had evolved specifically to eliminate intelligence wherever it arose, as if the universe itself rejected the concept of thinking beings on Vorthek. The Cathara, the AI continued, developed collective consciousness not as an evolutionary advantage, but as a survival necessity. Individual minds could not process the temporal paradoxes required to navigate their reality without fragmenting into madness. The human vessel and Cathara ship began moving toward each other, their courses intersecting in space equidistant from the council chamber. Neither species had requested permission or announced their intentions. They simply recognized something in each other that the galaxy's peaceful civilizations couldn't understand. General Korax watched the tactical display with growing dread. They're going to meet two Deathworld species, each with technology beyond our comprehension, converging in our space. Emergency broadcasts flooded the galactic networks. Military fleets accelerated toward the convergence point, though everyone knew they would arrive too late to prevent whatever catastrophe was about to unfold. Diplomatic corps prepared final messages to be transmitted to the outer colonies, warnings about the violence that was about to reshape the galaxy. The moment of first contact between Deathworld species was imminent. Every simulation had predicted mutual annihilation, total warfare, devastation beyond imagining. Two civilizations that understood only survival through strength were about to collide. The galaxy held its breath. At the convergence point, two vessels representing the universe's most hostile worlds came to rest facing each other. The silence stretched across light years as billions of beings waited for the violence to begin. Military commanders prepared for devastation. Diplomats composed final messages. The peaceful galaxy braced for its end. Then Captain Chun's voice cut through the cosmic stillness. Resonance Singer Vorthak, your people's survival of Vorthek's temporal storms is remarkable. We recognize the strength it took to build civilization, while reality itself tried to destroy you. The Cathara response resonated directly into every conscious mind within the system. Captain Chun of Earth, your species' triumph over a world of predators and chaos honors the persistence of life itself. We acknowledge the will it required to choose cooperation while surrounded by competition. What happened next shattered every prediction, every simulation, every assumption the galaxy had made about Deathworld species. Both vessels moved simultaneously, their captains stepping onto hastily constructed platforms in the void between their ships. Protected by technology that turned vacuum into breathing space, the two representatives of impossible worlds faced each other. Captain Sarah Chun, her form hardened by Earth's crushing gravity, scarred by a lifetime of surviving humanity's forge world. Resonance Singer Vorthak, their crystalline bodies shifting through dimensions, existing in multiple temporal states at once. Two beings who represented the absolute pinnacle of survival, meeting in the darkness between stars. They bowed, not a bow of submission or surrender, not a gesture of fear or intimidation. They bowed in perfect synchronization, recognizing in each other something the peaceful galaxy had never understood. The incredible strength required not just to survive hell, but to emerge from it with compassion intact. You chose to build rather than destroy, Chun said, her words carrying across open space through technologies that redefined possible. You chose to heal rather than harm, Vorthak replied, their harmonics creating music from meaning itself. Council chamber erupted in chaos. This wasn't warfare. This wasn't the savage collision of primitive species. This was diplomacy at a level that transcended their understanding. Two civilizations that had earned the right to be violent were choosing peace instead. They're not greeting each other, Elder Zephistos whispered in stunned realization. They're honoring each other. The galaxy watched as humanity and the Cathara began sharing their stories. Earth's tale of species learning to cooperate, despite evolutionary programming for competition. Vorthic's saga of minds joining together to survive reality's attempts to drive them insane. Both species had faced the universe's cruelest tests and responded by becoming more than their worlds had tried to make them. Ambassador Veltar's skin had shifted to gold, the color of enlightenment among his people. We had it backwards. We thought civilization meant avoiding hardship, but they ... He gestured toward the meeting point where two impossible species were forming an alliance based on mutual respect. They achieved civilization because of hardship. They know the value of peace because they've paid the price for it. When two Deathworld species meet, the galaxy learned that day, they don't fight. They recognize the extraordinary achievement of surviving long enough to choose mercy over vengeance, cooperation over conquest, hope over despair. They bow to each other because they understand what the peaceful species never could. That true strength isn't the absence of violence, but the choice to embrace something better despite having the power to destroy everything in your path.